Kwasi Pratt Jr. has condemned the 3 new taxes imposed on Ghanaians. He added that any route to the IMF will only spell doom for the country's economy.
So all of these taxes that are being loaded onto the Ghanaian people, all of this debt exchange program and so on, is aimed only at one thing: repayment of our debts. And that is why many of us have argued that the route to the IMF can only be a route to total disaster. And we said this also with benefit of hindsight. Where in the world has an IMF package solved any problem? Nowhere in the world. Not one country in the world has an IMF program solved any problem. Indeed, they usually tend to exacerbate the problems. And for me, the best example is 1982-83, when we went to the IMF and the World Bank and secured what was initially called the Economic Recovery Program. Look at the disaster it left in its wake. The destruction of most of the factories that were built by the Nkrumah regime, total destruction.
Still on a Good Morning Ghana program, government spokesperson Eric Amwaku-Chum says the current tax measures have only been introduced to help government to raise more revenue and urge Ghanaians to bear with government.
And one of the things that we also don't talk about a lot is the fact that our tax to GDP ratio across the sub-region is probably one of the lowest. And if the rule of thumb is that you need to get close to around 18-20% to be able to be sustainable over a period. So it means that there's a lot of room for us to improve, either re-harmonizing the taxes that we have, expanding the tax brackets, creating new channels for us to be able to raise the revenue that we want as a country, and then all the challenges with our fiscal, the fiscal gap that we have at the moment tells us that we need to do a lot more locally and find the revenues locally to be able to do the things that we want to do. And so it's almost like finding a balancing act.
Now, in other news, government missed out on the